How to protest safely. Protesting is a valued right. If you are unhappy with your government, you have the right to protest. However, there are risks involved with protesting, especially if things get violent or unruly. Always dress in comfortable clothing for a protest and pack only the essentials. Stay safe during a protest by sticking with a group and staying away from illegal activities. If you end up interacting with the police, make sure to stay safe. Remember your right to remain silent. In the event you are arrested, do not resist arrest. This can cause you physical injury and land you in more legal trouble. During the coronavirus pandemic, there's an additional risk that you could get exposed to the virus while protesting in a large group, so take extra precautions to protect yourself and others. Method 1. Protecting your health in a pandemic. 1. Wear a mask to protect yourself and others. Participating in a protest during the coronavirus pandemic could put you and others at risk of getting sick. To reduce the risk of the virus spreading, wear a fabric mask and ask others in your group to do the same. It's not clear how much a mask will help protect you from catching the virus. However, it will help prevent you from spreading it if you're already sick and aren't aware of it. If you're in a large group of people, you'll all be safer if everyone wears a mask. If you don't have a mask, you can quickly and easily make one with a bandana and some hair ties. 2. Carry signs instead of yelling to avoid spreading the virus. Shouting or chanting during a protest could send droplets of saliva into the air, potentially spreading the virus. Instead of verbalizing your message, write it on a sign that you can hold up. If you're part of a group, encourage them to make signs as well. Avoid using curse words or other obscenities on your sign, as this can be seen as aggression by police, and is often viewed as offensive. If you'd rather not carry a sign, you could also wear a shirt with a message or slogan printed on it. Or, try protesting with gestures or body language, such as taking a knee or raising your fist. Do not use any hand gestures that are obscene, violent, or could easily be misconstrued as such. 3. Stay at least 6 feet, 1.8 m, away from other protesters if possible. It can be tough to maintain good social distance in a crowd, but it's still a vital part of protecting yourself and others even if everyone is wearing a mask. As much as possible, keep at least 6 feet, 1.8 m, of distance between yourself and others in your group. You're less likely to catch COVID from standing close to an infected person outdoors than you are in an enclosed space, but it can still happen. Reduce your chances by following social distancing guidelines as much as you can. Be aware, in some areas, police have been engaging in practices that make it more difficult for protesters to keep a safe distance from each other. Keep in mind that there's a risk you might be corralled into a small area or even arrested and placed in a crowded cell with other protesters. 4. Wash your hands or use hand sanitizer frequently during the protest. If you're able to do so, wash your hands with soap and water from time to time during the protest, especially before handling food or touching your face. Bring hand sanitizer with you in case soap and water aren't available. Use a sanitizer that's at least 60% alcohol. If your hands are visibly dirty or greasy, try to rinse them with water or wipe them with a damp cloth or wet wipe first. Hand sanitizer is less effective at killing germs on grimy hands. 5. Get tested for COVID after the protest if possible. If you've been at a crowded protest or demonstration, it's possible you were exposed to the virus. For your own peace of mind and to protect others from getting sick, call your doctor and ask about the possibility of getting tested. Before coming in for testing, call ahead to your healthcare provider. Explain that you were at a protest and are concerned that you might have been exposed to the virus. In some cities in the U.S., such as Denver, local public officials are offering free testing to people who have participated in demonstrations. Check your local government website to find out if this is an option for you. 6. Stay home if you're sick or may have been exposed to COVID. If you're feeling under the weather, even if you're pretty sure it's not COVID, protect yourself and others by staying at home. Don't put others at risk of getting sick by showing up at a crowded event. It's also important to protect your own health if you have an underlying condition that puts you at risk of falling seriously ill from coronavirus, such as heart disease or diabetes. If you think you may have been exposed to the virus, stay home for at least 2 weeks and don't attend another protest until you're sure you aren't sick. If you've been diagnosed with coronavirus, work with your doctor to determine when you can safely go out in public again. It's likely safe to be around other people again if it's been 10 days since your symptoms started, your symptoms have improved significantly, and you've been fever-free for at least 3 days. Method 2. Dressing and packing for a protest. 1. Wear sensible clothes. You want to make sure you don't wear anything that could put you at an increased risk for slipping or falling during a protest. Wear shoes you can easily walk or run in and nothing too tight or otherwise constrictive. You should also check the weather and plan accordingly. If it's going to be very cold, dress in layers and pack a hat. Avoid wearing anything that someone could easily grab, such as neckties, jewelry, or long, loose hair. If you have long hair, put it up or tuck it under a hat or bandana. Ideally, you should wear clothes that cover your skin completely, such as a long-sleeved shirt and long pants, to protect you from the sun and noxious chemicals. If possible, bring a fresh change of clothes in a plastic bag in case your clothes get contaminated with chemicals. 2. Use glasses instead of contact lenses to protect your eyes. If you're exposed to tear gas or pepper spray, contact lenses could trap the irritating chemicals against your eyes and make the damage worse. If you normally wear contacts, leave them at home and wear glasses instead. If possible, put on some shatterproof safety goggles, sunglasses, or swimming goggles. These will give your eyes an extra layer of protection in case of a chemical attack. 3. Keep your skin free of oils and lotions that can trap chemicals. Greasy or oily sunscreens or lotions can trap chemical irritants, such as tear gas or pepper spray, against your skin. Go for an oil-free sunscreen, and steer clear of skin products that contain mineral oil, petroleum jelly, or Vaseline. You should also steer clear of heavy makeup, especially if it's oil-based. 4. Carry a water bottle with a squirt top. Water is essential for keeping you hydrated if you're going to be outside for a long time. It can also be important for first aid in case of a chemical attack. Bring a water bottle that squirts so you can rinse your skin and eyes if you're exposed to tear gas or pepper spray. A water bottle can also help you clean your hands if you don't have access to running water. 5. Pack only the essentials. Unfortunately, when protests get chaotic, things can get lost or stolen. You do not want to pack too much or bring anything too expensive to a protest. Pack only the things you will absolutely need, such as your phone, keys, wallet, water, and snacks. It's a good idea to bring a little bit of money in case you need it for food or transportation. Avoid carrying big, cumbersome bags. Do not bring or wear expensive items. For example, leave your iPod behind and do not wear expensive jewelry. 6. Bring essential medication. On certain occasions, protests get unruly and people end up arrested. On the off chance you have to spend a night in jail, bring any medications you need each day. You do not want to end up without necessary pills if you're stuck in jail. It may be a good idea to only bring a small amount of your medication. If it gets lost, you do not want to be out of your medication when you get home. In addition to medications you regularly take, bring a small first aid kit. Safety tip: if you're having your period or there's a chance it might start during the protest, bring menstrual pads. Don't wear a tampon, since there's a chance you might not be able to change it for many hours if you get arrested. 7. Take along your ID and emergency contact info. In case you are injured, arrested, or involved in an accident, it's important to have your ID on you. Carry a list of emergency contacts as well, in case you need to call them or somebody has to make a call on your behalf. If you have a medical condition, wear a medical ID bracelet or carry a card with information for first responders and other healthcare professionals. 8. Charge your phone fully. It's a good idea to bring your cell phone to a protest in the event you need to contact someone. However, you should prepare your cell phone before the big day. Bring a charger, preferably a portable one, in case your phone runs out of battery power. You should also completely charge your phone before you leave. Turn off text preview. If your phone is locked, police officers will not be able to read the context of your texts. 9. Lock your phone with a passcode. In some areas, police can legally demand that you unlock your phone using your fingerprint or your face. If you do not want police officers rifling through your phone, you cannot legally be requested to give out a passcode. Before leaving for a protest, lock your phone with a passcode instead of your fingerprint or face. This will keep your information safe from police officers. If possible, make your passcode at least 6 digits long. If you are not in the United States, be sure to check regulations in your region. In some areas, police may be able to ask you for your passcode. You can also keep yourself safer by disabling location services on your phone, since the police could use these to track your movements. You can typically find location services in your phone settings app under Privacy or Location. Method 3. Staying safe at a protest. 1. Know your rights in case the police confront you. Knowing what you can and cannot do is important if you are confronted or arrested. These laws vary by region around the world, so it's important to do your homework and know your rights before you attend a protest. In the US and many other countries, your free speech is protected, even if your ideas are controversial or unpopular. In the US, you are allowed to demonstrate freely on public venues, streets, sidewalks, and parks, without prior permission in most cases. You generally need written permission from the owner if you wish to protest on private property. Do prior research on the event. Make sure you know who's organizing it, what cause they are defending, and what they plan to do during the protest. Consider the risks and legal implications of participating. Make sure that the organizers have acquired any necessary permits for large rallies. 2. Stick with a group so you can keep an eye on each other. Try to attend a protest with a group of friends or like-minded people. Have at least one close, trusted friend with you at a protest. You can keep an eye on one another. In the event one of you is arrested, you will have someone to notify friends and family members of your whereabouts. 3. Use social media to track the protest. Social media can be used to help you stay safe during a protest. People may use a hashtag on Twitter or Facebook regarding a protest, letting people know if arrests are being made or if tear gas is being used. This can help you know which areas to avoid while protesting. However, be careful. Rumors can be spread on social media, so do not believe everything you read. If you only see a single tweet or post about arrests being made or tear gas being used, this may be a false report. You should also watch what you post. Do not post about anything illegal you see and do not post anything that could be interpreted as a call to action for illegal activities. This could be used against you in a court of law. If you are photographing or filming an event, respect the privacy of others. Some people may not want to have pictures or videos taken of them, so ask permission first. However, this does not apply to police working in publicly visible areas. 4. Back away from violence safely. You do not want to get involved in any illegal activities during a protest. This can put your safety at risk and may land you in legal trouble. If you notice illegal activities, back away carefully. Stay away from side streets. Remaining in the open will prevent you from getting caught in violence, which often occurs on the sidelines during protests. If a large amount of police suddenly arrive at a scene, things may quickly escalate to violence. Leave the area quickly in this event. Keep your distance from suspicious people. If you see a group of people wearing all black and with their faces covered, for instance, try to march further away from them. People occasionally vandalize symbols of wealth, banks, limousines, etc., and police often respond violently to their tactics. 5. Do not get in the way of others. Try to move if people are trying to pass you. If the crowd is moving in one direction, go with the crowd as long as they're not engaging in anything risky or illegal. If you get in anyone's way, you may get knocked over. This can lead to major injuries if a lot of people step on you. Try to stay out of the way as much as possible during protests. Method 4. Dealing with police interactions. 1. Keep your distance from police officers. Police officers occasionally use violence on protesters. They also sometimes begin arresting protesters quickly, sometimes even peaceful protesters. As a general rule, keep an arm's length away from police officers at all times. 2. Ask a police officer for specifics if you're stopped. If a police officer stops you, it is within your legal rights to ask certain questions. Be polite to avoid legal trouble. Ask if you're being detained and if you're free to go. If you are free to go, walk away. It's probably best to avoid police interaction, especially if the protest is very politically charged and arrests are likely. If a police officer says that you're being detained, do not give up too much information. However, you should cooperate with the officer to avoid unnecessary legal charges. If you are arrested, stay calm and cooperate with the police. Don't argue, resist arrest, or attempt to flee. If you believe you have been unfairly prosecuted, discuss your case with a lawyer later. 3. Do not consent to unauthorized searches. If a police officer searches you illegally, you have the right to say, "I do not consent to this search." Police officers are not allowed to search people without a warrant or an arrest. And any evidence obtained illegally cannot be used against you in court. Part of the reason it's good to stay with a buddy is you will have a witness in the event the unauthorized search comes up in a court of law. If possible, have someone use a cell phone to record this. This way, you will have evidence you did not authorize the search. 4. Do not resist arrest. Resisting arrest can contribute to police becoming violent. It can also result in you getting into further legal trouble. In the event you are arrested, remain calm. Allow yourself to be handcuffed and do not try to fight back. 5. Remember you have the right to remain silent. In the event you are arrested, use your right to remain silent. Under stress, you may accidentally say something to incriminate yourself. Therefore, it's a good idea to decline police questions without a lawyer present. You do not have to answer anything after you've been arrested. Don't sign anything or make a statement to the police without talking to a lawyer first. If they ask you questions or try to pressure you into speaking, calmly say, "I wish to remain silent. I want to speak to a lawyer." You also have a right to ask for a phone call and to ask why you're being arrested. 6. Watch out for pepper spray. Police occasionally use pepper spray against protesters. It's important you stay vigilant and protect yourself against pepper spray. Usually, the best means to avoid pepper spray is to remain 10 to 15 feet, 3 to 5 m, away from anyone you see carrying pepper spray, including both police officers and other protesters. If you're unable to escape, cover your eyes with your hands or arm. If you are exposed to tear gas or pepper spray, remove contaminated clothing and items, then rinse your eyes and skin with cool water. As soon as you can, take a shower. 7. Move away if you see tear gas being used. Tear gas is sometimes used during protests. The best way to protect yourself is to back away when tear gas is being used. Maintain your distance from police and from violent or unruly protesters. If you anticipate tear gas, wear a gas mask, respirator, or escape hood to protect yourself. In some areas, gas masks may be banned. Instead, buy a builder's respirator online or at a hardware store. This is fitted over your nose and mouth. You can also use a small dust mask and airtight goggles. Safety warning: at some protests, police use a tactic called kettling to trap protesters in a small area, such as on a bridge or a steep hillside. If possible, bring goggles and a mask or respirator to protect yourself in case the police pen you in and then deploy tear gas or other chemical weapons. Tips: it is safer to leave the event in groups to avoid arbitrary arrests. For some organized protests, police may shut down roads to protect demonstrators from traffic. Be sure you have an alternate way home. Have alternate methods of communication, as cell phone signals may be jammed, monitored, or slowed by heavy traffic from other users. Have a list of contacts in case something goes wrong. Warnings: tear gas can cause serious injury or death in those with respiratory conditions. Water cannons can change direction very quickly and unexpectedly, and rubber bullets can cause injury at close range. If someone near you is hurt, move them away from the crowd if possible and get medical attention. Be prepared for counter-protesters. While their views will naturally be opposed to yours, they have the same right to demonstrate as you do. Do not harass, insult, or argue with them. This applies even if they are rude to you.